Hi, I'm AJ. I'm a deployed engineer at Graphite. In this video, I'm going to explain what stacked PRs are and how they let you ship more code. And in the next video, I'll walk you through how Graphite makes stacking very easy using our CLI and PR page. Stacking allows you to parallelize your dev workflow, removing the bottleneck of needing code review or merge before working on downstream changes. And some high-level effects of this is that our customers see up to 30% more code shipped and even a 70% reduction in time to merge. How is this possible? Well, stacking allows you to break down a large change into reviewable components by creating a sequence of dependent PRs where one builds off the previous. You can essentially keep making more dependent PRs while your upstream PRs are still in review by your teammates. And the origins of this is that this was a workflow popularized by Meta and Google, where they basically have thousands of engineers, so they're able to pour a lot of resources into developing very powerful dev tools. Stacked PR support was something they built, and Graphite was very inspired by this, and we made our own CLI to enable anyone to use stacking very easily. So the stacking workflow is a Git development workflow where you create branches off of other branches. And conceptually, this is quite simple, but I think the best way to illustrate the power of stacking is to go through a traditional workflow and then what a stacking workflow looks like. So here on the left, we have a traditional workflow. We have a version control example with main across time. And then we have two features, feature A and feature B, which are both getting merged sequentially into main. For the sake of example, let's assume feature A is a backend change, and then feature B is a front-end change dependent on feature A, or it has references to the code that we've wrote in feature A. In a traditional PR flow, I would branch off of main, make my changes in feature A, when ready, push this up for code review, get feedback from my teammates, and eventually merge this into main. Only after feature A has been merged into main can I start working on my changes in feature B. So I'm essentially blocked until feature A gets merged into main before working on the downstream change, which is our front-end changes in feature B. And you can imagine if feature A is a very big back-end change or my teammates are very busy, it can take days on weeks to be able to merge feature A into main, essentially blocking me to start working on my downstream changes. That's what stacked PRs do differently. They give you the ability to work on downstream changes while your upstream changes are still in review. So for this example here, I branch off of main, make my changes in feature A, push this up for code review, and while I'm waiting for my teammates to review my PR, or I'm going back and forth with them, but I have some free cycles, I can go ahead and branch off of feature A and start working on my front-end changes in feature B. So here I'm no longer blocked on needing feature A to check into main before working on code that is dependent on it, or our front-end changes in feature B. And while this is possible to do in Vanilla Git, the Graphite CLI is much easier, and it's designed to make stacking straightforward and easy to adopt. You can imagine if you're modifying feature A based on feedback that you're getting in the code review process, which is a very common pattern, you're going to need to make sure that feature B is based on the latest version of feature A, in which if you have a very large stack of 7 or 8 PRs, this can be incredibly manual if you're using Vanilla Git. With the Graphite CLI, we'll automatically rebase your stack for you, so any changes upstack will be automatically rebased for any downstream PRs. So concluding this side, code review is no longer the bottleneck with stacking and allows you to keep developing. And the effects stacking has on your workflow are quite significant. You no longer need to stuff a ton of changes into each PR because you really need that merge, so your PR size ends up shrinking significantly. This increases review quality. Smaller PRs mean reviewers can understand your code and reduces the odds of rubber stamping large PRs without thoroughly understanding them. It's also less cognitively demanding to review your PRs, and that means that you're able to get that approval faster, which in turn means more code shipped. And lastly, because your branches aren't staying open as long, you don't have to deal with as many version control issues like merge conflicts. So that's stacking. Graphite has a stacking CLI that many of our customers find useful, but we aren't just a stacking CLI. We're an entire code review platform built to ship code faster and with higher quality. We have a best-in-class AI reviewer, code review agent, stack-aware merge queue, and many other features in our PR page designed to improve the code review experience. In the next video, I'll go through how our CLI makes stacking very easy, but I hope this gave you a better idea on what both Graphite and stacking are. Hope we work together soon.